Non-duality simply says that truth cannot be defined. It can't really be spoken, particularly with the language that we have, because our language always defines and makes things smaller. And truth itself is much more vast than any word can actually be put on it. It doesn't mean that we can't know truth. It's just that the part of our mind that we use most habitually can't define it. Switch that round the other way. The part of our mind that we usually don't use as much is the part that can see truth. And maybe that's not even a good way to say it, because we use our full brain all the time. I mean, our mind, our brain has so much to do just to keep us alive at all. Keeping the breath going, keeping the heart going, keeping all the, molecules in your body going everywhere, navigating you through streets, helping you figure out what to eat, talking with other people. I mean, just think of just how immense the activity of the brain is all day long. And even when we're sleeping, sleep is a time where the brain actually cleans itself out. But even when you're sleeping, you're thinking and awareness is happening, and the brain's just always going. I mean, we even have a condition called brain dead, right? Where if a person doesn't breathe in a certain amount of time, the cells in their brain stop working, and then they don't have the full function. But you and me, we got full function. We just focus our attention on the smallest part of our brain rather than the biggest. Or, better way to say it, we focus our attention on the smallest part of our awareness rather than the biggest part of our awareness. And even more specifically, who is it that's focusing that attention? So bottom line then in non-duality is that if you do not know who you are, then you're constantly living in your definitions and your confusion. You're letting your confusion drive you. If you know who you are, you're the one driving the vehicle. You're the one who sees your thoughts and knows that you're responsible for everything. You're the one who is in relation to everything. If you don't know who you are, how can you have relations? Because you believe you're this scattered thing that's flipping around in your brain, but you're not. You are you. So now here's a hard-hitting point that's really important to understand. All spiritual seekers are in essence untrustworthy. Because when you're seeking, your basic assumption about life is that something is not enough. So you're always thinking that you aren't enough, and you're looking to fill that hole. You also project everything onto everyone else, so everything around you is not enough. All the people are not enough. How can you have relationships with other people when your basic assumption is that you aren't enough and they aren't enough? Like in our present day society, this is really obvious because we just habitually and compulsively psychoanalyze everyone, right? Constantly. I mean, that is so degrading and disrespectful of a way to treat each other and to treat ourselves. So just in essence, being a spiritual teacher makes you disrespectful and untrustworthy. What do you do about that? Because the perception is that you have to seek in order to find yourself. The truth is that stop seeking and you become so obvious. Who's living your life? It's you. So take that down just for a moment. Be real right this moment. Who's being real? That's you. And living in this is the non-dual state when you know who you are, because all of a sudden you are not two things. You are just this one thing that you know yourself. All of a sudden now you can be trustworthy and reliable and respectful. And it's from this place that we can then have relationships. So every time you're like quoting native stuff and saying all of our relations, ahoma takuyasan and stuff like that, if you don't know who you are, you're lying about that. So first, find out who you are. And you can also come at it from the other way. Come at it from the way of trustworthiness. Just feel yourself as a trustworthy being. You're worthy of other trusts, people's trust. And you trust yourself. You trust that you're always gonna at least give it a try, right? Trustworthiness. Who is it that is trustworthy? That's you. You can feel that trustworthiness is a singularity. It's a single thing. Trustworthiness. So go at it from the other side. Forget the seeking thing. That is just I have to call it a lie, like a huge fiction that everyone has fallen for, that we have to seek, 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 seek. What are we seeking? Who's seeking? Instead, just settle into your human nature of trustworthiness and of knowing who you are. It's not a fabulous thing. It's just a very simple singularity of yourself. You don't need more than that. That's enough.